Alrighty, Roo, and cuckoo to you and all my nobody's not watching out there. So I actually did a little more effort and looked it up, and no, that's totally Brian Murphy. And I just have to say, kudos, Brian Murphy. I'm impressed. He is doing such a good job being like from the first. Like I've only listened to 3 of these, but from the first one. Like his voice sounds so similar, and his everything, his character is different, but like it's hard for me to explain the thing, but it just sounds like he's a little farther from the mic, not like there's any sort of like modulation or filter or anything. Emily sounds like her all the time and acts like her as this character all the time. If I had to put it into words, it very much sounds like Emily was like, they're like, hey, we're going to hire you guys for this thing. And they're just like, yay. We get to play, we get to be part of a game in some way. That's pretty cool. Also money, yay. And I think this was a fun project. This would be a fun project, in my opinion. And they get to work together, extra bonus. And they do have great chemistry. I don't remember, I didn't look up when this happened. I remember, I did look it up, just to confirm. I was like, that sounds like it's him at this point. And it's like, he wasn't listed in the cast list that I did my cursory Google search for or whatever. I guess it's because he didn't have a picture next to his. Maybe he doesn't. I don't know if he's not, like, I don't know how that might be a factor. I don't know. The reality is I had to like do a slightly deeper. I had to actually put effort out for it instead of just like one simple search and just look. Nope, he's not there. Okay, you know, I was like, that's like, because I got to this one, I'm like, it just seems more and more like him. So I'm really glad that it's him. But kudos to you for making me doubt that. But if I had to say, it seems like they got hired for the job, and the job was, you guys get to work together. Emily, you have a script. You need to follow this for the most part, because you're sort of the person in control. Brian, we're not going to fill in your parts, dude. Both of you are great improvers, but this is your character. Figure out your character, do your character, we'll approve it, and then you just say what you would. Like, I have not looked ahead, I've not done any sort of like walkthrough shit. I couldn't even like go back and save Emma. I've just sort of let it be as it is. You know, there's not much I can do. I didn't even think it was him. I just was like, this is like itching my brain, and I have to check it out. I have to see if that's him. And I had to look a little harder, but I found it. And it was him. And it's like, I'm impressed. Like, he's so much being the character that they don't have that chemistry at first. He does sound like him, but he doesn't sound so much like him that normally my ear will just be able to do that. I can just hear it. And that's not the case here. I don't know exactly why. I think it's because he's farther away from the mic. I don't think he's changing his voice. I don't think he's doing anything. It's just, it didn't, normally I can just be like, I definitely know that voice, like I knew with Emily. I may not remember their name or where I know them from. It may bother me, and then I may have to look it up, but I thought it was just somebody who sounded similar and was trying to be him or something, but no, totally him. And I'm happy to see them both working together and getting work and doing here things, and this is fun, and like, I'm really happy. That makes me happy, and I'm happy to see their thing, like, but he's like really dedicated to the character and like sort of growing as the character, which I think is like that much cooler, because it shows like his range, his skill. Like, he tricked my ear. Because I was like, is that him? I don't know. I knew it was her, I just didn't remember her name. I was like, that sounds like him, but it sounds more like it's someone intending to be him. And there's been, within just these 3 little, 20-minute sections, sections, that have, like, built their characters. He was so dedicated to the character that, like, it tricked me, which, you know, again, kudos. That's what I gotta say. But it does sound like he's getting to improv his stuff, and she has to follow a script. Now, I'm probably completely wrong. Like, that's not how... That's how I might run something, but I still think that's a poor way to run things. It's a professional fucking video game. Lots running on this, even if it's just, like, extra, you know, content. It's, like, you know, special feature stuff. So far, it really hasn't provided me with any benefit towards the game. It's just fun for me. It's a good little distraction away from the tragedy of the game, the intensity of it. It's fun. Like, I like that they have that, because it's kind of intense, and if I hadn't played Doki Doki all the way through most recently, this would be affecting me more. Instead, I'm a lot more chill, because Doki Doki was really rough. Like, that was rough for me mentally. This one, if I had somebody else playing it, it might be a little more rough, because I'd be sharing it. But since I have to make all the choices, and I get to take my time and think about it for most of them, unless you want to shoot somebody, then I don't have to pause or anything. I can just sort of, you know... It's not as stressful because I changed the options, which I'm thankful that they allowed that. But I love seeing these two together. I love hearing them together. I look forward to actually listening to the rest of them. I'm going to listen to at least one more, just because I had to correct myself, because I did look it up, and that is Brian Murphy. And I love seeing them together, and they're so much fun. And I probably wouldn't have looked it up if I hadn't kept going, because it shows more, it just like that, it started to create that itch in my head. I'm like, you looked, but did you? Like, you barely looked. It seems very much like it, yeah, it's like, do a more thorough effort. I'll just put a little more into it. And I love seeing them. They're great. Yeah, I like seeing this relationship evolve here, and I'm just worried it's going to end up poorly, and that Grace is going to get them both killed. That's probably going to happen. Like, not spoilers, because I can't predict that. Hopefully they'll just fucking stay where it's safe, but her character seems like that would happen. I will say, I love, if I'm right, if it's improv on the part of Brian's part, like he doesn't have lines proper, or they get to make, I don't know, maybe the people were like, hey, you need to make a podcast for this thing, here's the basic thing, a little scant details, fucking figure it out, write your own shit, here's some money. And they did, and it's fun. That's cool. That's another possibility. But that Amazing Grace, she being like, just call me Amazing Grace, and I was just like, no, don't like that. Mentally, my personal thing. And then he was just like, Amazing Grace is a beautiful song. You have ruined that for me. It's like, you have taken something from me. Like, today, you have taken something from me. I was just like, that's such a savage... That's so... it's so good. And she just like... and continues on. Like... that he's getting darker and darker. Like, I don't know. I really, really just had to kind of gush for a second, because I'm like, yes, it is him! Yay! And I love it. So now we're going to listen to the next one and see what happens, because these podcasts are really interesting, and I do want to keep playing the game, but I'm all like, I don't know what like I'm on like chapter 7 in the game, and the chapters are kind of quick, more so than a lot of the other ones. So that's cool. But like, I'm not trying to farm it for content. I do things at my own speed, and I'm just really happy to hear two people from you know, Dropout, from College Humor, and Dimension 20, and like, you know, like, fanboyness for seeing them do other stuff, you know, like, I freaked out about Erika Ishii and another thing, and you know, when somebody that I know from somewhere else is in one of the games that I play, that's my jam. Like, these people are talented. I'm not saying that people who, you know, like, that, you know, a lot of people do a lot of voice acting and voiceover work, and it's hard work. You know, anybody who likes anime and has ever listened to a dub, that they're like, well, let's switch to the sub. I'd rather not understand the subtle differences of the culture and everything. Not just because I can read the words and it's more accurate, but because the voice acting is so bad. Like, it's not easy work. And I just love hearing and seeing people that I already know and love and like get work to do stuff like this. You know? Whether it's some YouTuber in a movie, like MatPat, also hashtag, oh MatPat, my MatPat. Everyone is gonna miss you on, what is it, like March 9th or something, when you're gonna take a back seat. It is what it is. Or whether it's a bunch of YouTubers that I'm not really that familiar with, or some that I do know or don't know, in various games, like Cyberpunk or whatever. Games I did or didn't play. Like, it's nice to, or like I saw Free Guy, and Free Guy I was just like, I don't even watch half of these people, but I know who you are, because you're that famous. I don't sub to you, but I know I'm familiar with your existence. Like, I think I was mad that I didn't see MatPat. I was like, you didn't put MatPat? It's like, he's less of a Let's Player, you know, or I guess. Not important. Anyway, happy to see Emily Axford and Brian Murphy together in this game doing the thing. Let's move on to number 4. Hangry for Revenge. Is it best served cold? Is it a sandwich? Like a cold cut sandwich? Or what?
Welcome to Bizarre Yet Bonafide, the podcast of the paranormal.
Ooh.
Welcome, friends, to another episode of Bizarre Yet Bonafide with me, Grace.
Now, Grace, that's no way to welcome our listeners
you seem
back
kinda
into
sad.
the fold. Grace?
Are you okay, Grace?
Okay, for those of you wondering why you've tuned into Sourpuss
Yeah.
Radio, I'm delighted to tell you that there has been an update
Ow.
on the infamous missing dead body case.
Okay, fine, but just so you know,
She's back, everyone.
I am absolutely not done with it. I've got my thoughts and my theories and a pretty promising lead, actually.
No way, you're not getting off that easily. Let's tie up this delicious little loose
I
end,
really
shall
like
we? What happened
her
with the body,
like
and the kid who saw
treble,
it?
the tremor in her
which
voice,
handsome
like,
co-host was it who reminded you a few weeks back about the boy who cried wolf?
Okay, fine. The kid cried wolf. Big whoop.
A tale as old as time.
Apparently, he made it all up to scare his girlfriend.
Now, I'm no expert on charming the ladies,
Obvious. Continue.
but I don't think freaking the hell out of your date is the best way to win their heart.
True.
Probably not.
But it does lead on quite nicely to my next theory.
Stealing
Oh,
the
yeah? Enlighten
stealing
me.
the translate
Men are shitheads.
transition.
I mean, sadly, yeah.
And
I-
the women, those shitheads
Dude,
scorn,
right?
They're
Same.
pretty
Agreed.
fucked up.
Listen up, guys. Quit scorning. Knock it off.
Because the truth of the matter,
Good
Anton,
advice.
is that even though there was no body, it doesn't take away the fact that these hikers did go missing.
That
This
doesn't
one
change
here,
that, no.
Anne Radcliffe, she's out there somewhere, alive or dead.
I mean, how do we even know they were in those specific woods in the first place? It's such a vast area. It could be totally unrelated to anything.
No, Anton, it's ghosts.
Okay,
You
we're
really
back.
are relentlessly stubborn, aren't you?
It's no secret how many
Things that
people go
happen in their
inexplicably
actual life
missing
that
in North America,
got into
and
the
a great
script
deal
somehow.
Of missing persons cases leave behind no trail whatsoever. And what else leaves no trail? Ghosts. Because they float and glide through stuff.
Yeah, okay. That makes
Okay.
sense.
You're being nice. Why?
Trying to not be a shithead so you don't come back as a ghost and haunt me.
Wait, who the hell says I'm dying before you?
I've seen how you live. You had peanut butter butter pops for lunch. Weren't they discontinued ages ago? I guess you just went ahead and ignored the expiration
They brought
date?
back the peanut butter
Yeah.
butter pops.
Nuts are good for you. And everyone knows stuff in the freezer doesn't go bad.
You kept them in the freezer?
That's
No, Anton, I found them in the freezer when I moved
that's
in.
even
You're
worse.
disgusting.
That's
Anton,
scary.
if I said to you, famous ghost stories, what would you think of?
Copyright infringement lawsuit?
But
Wrong! Here, read this.
that was actually not wrong.
Oh, sorry. This one? Right. Well, Grace, I'd think of the hitchhiking hag or the white lady, of course.
Interesting, Anton. Tell me more.
Different variations of these famous ghost
Read
stories
the
are told
script, you
all over the
bitch.
world.
Wow. So it sounds to me like there is a specific type of ghost that manifests in different ways to different people.
Like the
Funnily
Headless
enough,
Horseman?
I've been doing some research on this.
Which means you typed it
Dullahan.
into the internet and are about to quote the first webpage result.
Dude, what happened to being nice?
I didn't say I would be nice, I just said I wouldn't be a shithead.
Well,
But it's a
you're
difference.
on thin ice, pal.
Sorry, continue.
So, this research told me that
love
often these
I love
stories
this
are
so
about
much.
vengeful female spirits called things like the White Lady of something or the Hag of somewhere, all seemingly related to women being scorned, ranging
Yeah.
from spousal abuse to vows being broken,
Yeah.
their loved ones taken from them,
Especially
that kind
if-
of gnarly stuff.
Very gnarly, yeah.
One story in particular
Their man gets killed
tells
in
of a man
war.
so concerned that his wife might cheat on him
Or
while
they
he was
leave.
at war. He locked her
See.
in the basement.
Oh
Didn't
shit.
think about the possibility
That's a
he might
reverse.
croak it, did he? He died on the battlefield, and she wasted away to nothing in the dark. Her ghost still remains, wandering our plane.
That
It said
is a
that when she approaches,
inversion of-
her hollow,
That's fucked
desperate
up.
groans ring in your ears, and you are struck with this sudden pang of intense
I mean, if you,
hunger,
yeah, no.
an echo of the pain.
She's
she
getting
was
real
left to
serious
suffer.
here. He's like,
People think the star.
he's like,
killed
I'm not
her,
gonna,
but
I'm not gonna reply
no,
to that.
Quite the opposite. She was so hungry.
Did she start
trapped
eating herself?
down there that she resorted
Yep.
to eating her own flesh, ripping skin and sinew from bone, draining blood from vein as she tore
You know, you can only
herself
really do
apart.
that realistically a
They
few
say her
times,
hunger is what left her lingering in our
unless you're
world.
like a
The
medical
hunger
professional.
for revenge.
Holy shit.
He's just like,
So because of the
Like
way
that.
she was treated, the White Lady, or the Hag, generally punishes bad behavior like infidelity, abandonment, greed, and murder, and rewards things like faithfulness
mean-
and commitment to family.
That's
Alright, so
better than a lot of
basically,
guys.
for good reason, she's hangry. Super hangry.
Really
Mango
trying to
too,
lighten the
you know,
mood.
Ingesting her own flesh thing.
Yeah, it's lucky she wasn't a vegan like me.
You took a bite of my bacon cheeseburger yesterday.
You said it was free range.
You're vaguely vegan
Do you
at best.
not under?
A vegan, yeah. But right now, I'm hungry for answers. My theory is that these are specific types of spirit, not one
I'm a
particular
vegan.
ghost. You'll see loads of different stories about the White Lady, the Hag, the Wretched Woman, whatever you want to call them. Vengeful spirits cursed to linger in our world due to some wrongdoing.
That
that
tarot
befell
bitch
them.
better not be
So
the
going
hag
back to the
lady or
hitchhiker,
whatever.
Was she wronged in some way too?
Yep. She drowned herself after her
Again.
husband left her for another woman.
Always a
She's
drowning.
often seen drenched to the skin, sea water dripping from her mouth, overflowing from her constantly waterlogged lungs.
She is
Her once glowing face.
dedicating
all
herself to the darkness
bloated.
here.
her once songbird voice, gargling the discordant cries of her now sodden vocal cords.
Okay, you're way too good at this.
Yeah, he's just like,
The whole
you're.
unfinished
I was already
business.
afraid. Come on,
Cliche,
man.
I know, but these spirits are doomed to wander our mortal coil, seeking vengeance or closure on something or someone that wronged them.
So what does that mean for our fake dead body and missing
Yeah, how you
hikers?
bring it
I
back?
hear rumors that there have been recent sightings of a white lady, or hag, in none other than dun 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 Hackett Woods. Yes, which is near where those guys were last seen.
A scary thought, albeit absolute nonsense.
Joke all you want. We have a deal, remember? I present you with evidence and you admit that the paranormal is real. I just have a bit more
That's
research
not
to do,
evidence, but
something
okay.
more hands-on. And then, oh, Anton, I hope you've got ice cream in the freezer because you're going to need a big old scoop to go with your humble pie.
Oh man. Okay, go ghost hunting all you want, but I think we should draw a line under these missing hikers. We don't even know for sure they were in Hackett Woods, and I'm betting they turn up eventually.
Oh, don't worry. I'm in full ghost mode now.
Just
What?
don't do anything dangerous, all right?
Aw, I didn't think you cared.
Aw.
I like you enough that I don't want you to get murdered in the woods.
Well, that's it for today, folks. Join me next episode for something.
He's like, don't look too deep into it.
Seriously, what are you gonna do?
Don't worry your pretty little head about it. Catch you on the flip side, bizarros.
That's a different outro. But did you pull this? Alright, you pulled that out of God knows how old that thing is because they stopped selling them according to the people in the game. I don't know. I can't imagine there's just going to be 6 of these. I'm going to listen to one more because I'm already here. Hopefully it won't run out of time. And then I'll save that last one for a minute.
Welcome to Bizarre Yet Bonafide, the podcast of the paranormal.
I still don't like the intro. It's supposed to be unsettling, but it's the weirdly most professional unsettling thing. Guys? Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Oh god damn it. Is she by herself?
Huh. There's nobody at the check-in desk.
Where? Where are you?
Here I am at the Harbinger Motel.
They did tell
Yep,
us to go there.
that's its real name. To investigate Hackett Woods. I think I actually went past the woods on my way here, and I can totally believe it's haunted. Those trees are creepy.
You went by yourself?
AF. Which is great, because I'm here to find some hard evidence of the supernatural to show my co-host Anton the unbeliever.
Oh
who,
no.
you may notice, is not here. Now, there may be some of you who miss his acerbic comments, so I'll do my best to give the illusion that he's still
Acerbic?
here with us. Just to be clear, he hasn't died. He's having meatloaf at his mom's, which, as a vegan or vegan, I would never partake in.
There's vegan
Not that I
meatloaf.
was invited.
Okay.
Hey guys, my
Awkward.
name's Anton, and I don't believe in anything. I don't even like this podcast, even though you're super cool and awesome at ghosts and supernatural shit, and you're actually kind of pretty, and it's kind of weird that I've never mentioned that before, even when you sometimes
Just-
straighten your hair.
Fuck you. Just
Anton,
fuck
please,
already.
I'm just like any other paranormal investigator out there. Okay? Are you playing footsie with me? I think I ship us.
Oh,
Welcome,
that's so
listeners,
sad,
to
but
Bizarre
also
Yet
cute.
Bonafide, the podcast of the paranormal, coming to you from a
I
motel
don't-
near
oh.
Hackett Woods, where I'll be investigating
blushing
the
over
legend
here.
of a local haunting. But there's no such thing as ghosts, because I'm Anton. And wait a minute, didn't we prove last episode that the dead body found in Hackett Woods was a hoax? Supposedly a hoax. And maybe it was, maybe
Allegedly,
it wasn't. But
in my
even
opinion.
without the dead body, we've still got 2 missing hikers, creepy woods, an old
But were they
rickety
there?
town, and a local legend of an angry ghost.
I
So
just
that
feel like she
sounds
stumbled
a
onto
recipe
some
for
actual
mystery.
bullshit.
I mean, there's
And
no
now
smoke
she's
without fire,
going
and
into
there's no
fuckery and she
spectral
is gonna
plasma
find
without
out.
Ghosts. Oh, look. Please ring for assistance.
Ding!
Hello? I'd
There's
like
no
to check
ding?
in, please.
You didn't ding?
Anyone there? I mean, spooky abandoned motel is totally my vibe, but like,
I gotta,
check
you know.
in to stay here. Come on.
Or I could just go around the corner, steal some keys, pick a room.
So, listeners, after I get checked in, eventually, I want to get to the bottom of this ghost story. Who is this lady that haunts the woods? How did she die? What does she want? If she's a typical white lady ghost, I imagine she was murdered, or... Oh, shoot, someone's coming.
Is that it? Are we done?
Okay, guys.
Nope,
I am
we're not done.
officially checked in and in my room. It's pretty nice for a motel. Basic, quaint, a little creepy, but like the door is not creaking and there's no flickering light bulb. The trees aren't knocking against the window
That's
with a
good.
tap, tap, tap. So yeah, room for improvement. Ooh, also, check this out.
You want it to be creepier. What? What?
The toilet has one of those pull-down, old-timey chain flushy things, so that's pretty
It's
rad.
a podcast. We
Oh
can't.
my god. And I spoke to the desk clerk
You
about
didn't
ghosts,
vlog it.
and he told me about this traveling sideshow that came here like 6 years ago or something, and it caught fire, and like everyone died.
That's
Grounds for a haunting?
pretty bad.
I think so. We could even be dealing with multiple spirits here. Also, the clerk was pretty weird. He just kept staring and smiling uncomfortably.
You're
like
a
he didn't
lone
want to
woman.
talk about it, but
It's
also
pretty cute or
kind of
whatever.
did. I wonder if the fire has been hushed up. Either way, first thing in the morning, I'm going full investigation mode. I've got to find something concrete to bring back
Try
to
to
Anton.
minimize the time you're
I don't
naked
know,
in that
Grayson.
room.
I'm not really a reasonable person, so even if you did have evidence, I'd probably just ignore it, even though I promised not to. Also, I'm probably dragging this whole thing out because I secretly have a crush on you, and I'm just making the most of my time with you. Okay, Anton, settle down there, you big goof. Feelings mutual. All right, guys, sweet dreams.
Oh, my heart. It's so nice.
Morning, listeners.
It's so
I
like it's so like
reporting to
wholesome
you
and
from my
weird.
very
And that's my
disheveled
favorite
bed.
type of
I'm a
wholesome.
Very full-bodied thrashing sleeper. It's your girl Grace here, well rested and ready for some ghost hunting. As for my night in the Harbinger Motel, it was annoyingly delightful. The bed was soft, not a peep from the floorboards. I slept like a log. I even tried to do Bloody Mary in the mirror,
Really?
and honestly, I just kind of looked good. So, what's the deal? I mean, what is this motel even a harbinger of? Sweet
It's
dreams?
Just
I actually did have a really good dream.
About
I'm
Anton.
starving. Let me see. Oh, yes! One peanut butter pop left. Breakfast of ghost hunting champion.
how big
Pop,
are
pop,
these
peanut
things?
butter pops. Pop, pop them in your mouth.
That's actually pretty catchy.
Okay, so how come my brain saves space for a 15-year-old jingle, but I can't remember my social security number? I mean, way to go,
Real
Grace.
talk, big
I wonder if I
vibe.
reached out to
Total
the
mood.
manufacturers, maybe they'd start making them again. You hear that, Butter Pops guys?
Nah.
Get off your asses and give me some free snacks. We'll give you free advertising, so it's a win-win.
They
Just
they
count
don't
it so I
exist
can
and probably
hashtag
don't
add
for a
something.
reason.
Hashtag spawn. That means you really made it. These really are addictive. Must be all the nutritious ingredients.
Yeah, no, it's probably got
Huh.
drugs
No
in it or
ingredient
something.
list. Mysterious. Just the way I
It
like
doesn't have
Anyway,
ingredients
speaking of
in it
mystery,
at all?
I'm going to look into this fire from 6 years ago. It was on private land owned by the same family.
I don't
who
know
owns
when
the
they
woods.
started making that a
But the
requirement,
clerk
but damn.
couldn't, or who wouldn't, tell me anything about them. Apparently they're like recluses, which doesn't really make sense because they also run the summer camp we mentioned in previous episodes. Hackett's Quarry Summer Camp. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. According to the
That's-
flyer on the front desk, empty right now,
Makes
but
more
it'll
sense
be
every-
swimming with kids
yeah.
soon, I imagine. Though I can't understand why a family of hermits would want a load of teens running
Yeah.
around their land every summer. Oh, unless
Except
they're
to eat them.
sacrificing them to ghosts of
Yeah.
those who died in the fire as some kind of penance or death contract.
Grace, that wouldn't work because I'm Anton, and missing teenagers would definitely be investigated.
I mean, they have
and my
parents.
parents would keep sending their kids to
That
a
is a
sacrificial
valid
ghost
point.
camp.
Oh, Anton, why do you always have to be so logical? I wanted to call